She was once the outsider in a powerful family, but when betrayal and humiliation pushed her too far, she took matters into her own hands, exposing a billion-dollar medical empire built on lies and corruption. Watch as Maya risks everything, even her marriage, to bring down the people she once called family. This is a story of justice, courage, and standing up for what's right, no matter the cost. If you want more gripping stories of bravery and real-life drama, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and comment below with your thoughts. Join the journey and be part of the story. Maya's breath caught in her throat as the words left Helena's lips. Street trash. The insult was sharp, cutting through the thick tension at the Westbrook family's dinner table. The grand chandelier above seemed to dim for a moment as the air in the room thickened. Aiden, her husband, sat next to her, his silence louder than any words she had ever heard. Helena Westbrook, the matriarch of the powerful Westbrook family, looked at Maya with disdain, as if her presence alone sullied the room. Maya clenched her fists, the heat rising in her chest. This wasn't the first time Helena had belittled her, but it was the first time it felt like too much to bear. "You're nothing but a charity case," Helena sneered, taking a sip of her wine as if she had just made a casual observation. A broken, desperate girl who married into a family that could never understand her kind. Maya's face burned with humiliation. Her past, her journey from foster care to a highly successful healthcare compliance director, lay bare in the cruelest of ways. Aiden, her husband, sat there, his eyes avoiding hers, his hands folded neatly on the table. "That's enough, Mother." Aiden's voice was low, almost a whisper, but it was too little, too late. Helena scoffed. "Enough? You allow this woman to sit at my table disrespecting our family's legacy, and you want me to stop?" Helena's voice grew louder, her fury not aimed at Maya, but at Aiden for even considering defending her. Maya's chest tightened. This wasn't just about Helena. It was about the years of mistreatment, the subtle and not-so-subtle remarks from Aiden's family. The way they made her feel like she didn't belong, no matter how successful she became. And Aiden, he sat there, passive, as always. The man who once promised her support, who once swore he would stand by her side, had become a bystander in his own family's war against her. "Maybe it's time we leave," Maya's voice cracked. Her words hung in the air, a mix of hurt and frustration, and yet, a part of her was surprised by the surge of courage it took to speak them. She stood up, ready to walk away from the table, to walk away from this suffocating life. But as she turned, something inside her snapped. A secret she had held for 2 years began to rise within her like a tidal wave. She wasn't going to leave. Not like this. Not when everything she had worked for, the years of fighting for her dignity, for respect, was about to collapse, because of a few careless words. Helena's laughter echoed in her ears, but this time, Maya didn't flinch. She walked towards the study, Aiden's hesitant footsteps following behind her. When they reached the door, Maya turned sharply, her eyes burning with purpose. "Do you want to know what I've been doing behind your back, Aiden?" she asked, her voice steady, but a storm roiling inside her. "For the last 2 years, I've been gathering evidence. I've been working with the FBI to bring down your family's empire. Westbrook Medical Supplies isn't just a company. It's a criminal organization, and I've been its whistleblower." Aiden froze, his face draining of color. "What are you talking about?" he asked, the disbelief in his voice cutting through the tension. "This isn't possible. You're lying." "I'm not lying," Maya replied, her voice low but filled with certainty. "I've been working with a private investigator. I've been wearing a wire at family dinners. I've been documenting every conversation, every lie, the fraud, the bribery. It's all there. And now, the FBI is ready to raid Westbrook Medical Supplies tomorrow. It's over, Aiden." Aiden took a step back, his face twisted in shock. Maya, I didn't do this out of malice, Maya interrupted, her words sharp. I did it because I'm the only one who had the guts to see what's been happening under our noses. People's lives are at stake, Aiden. Lives that your family has sacrificed for profit. She could see the panic in Aiden's eyes, the realization that his world was about to collapse. But even in that moment, as Maya's heart raced, a strange sense of calm washed over her. She had no choice but to go through with it. Aiden's lips trembled as he tried to find words, but none came. Finally, he spoke, his voice breaking. You've ruined everything. You've ruined us. Maya didn't respond. She didn't have to. The truth was more powerful than anything he could say to her now. She turned away, her mind already racing ahead to the next steps. Tomorrow, it would all be over. The next morning, the storm had arrived. At the Westbrook Medical Supplies headquarters, FBI agents in black suits and bulletproof vests stormed the building, securing evidence of the massive criminal activities that had been going on for years. They seized records, medical supplies, and documents that detailed everything from bribing health inspectors to distributing expired drugs to vulnerable patients. Meanwhile, back at the mansion, the Westbrooks were reeling. The raid was everywhere on the news, and Aiden's world was beginning to shatter in front of him. He couldn't comprehend the enormity of what Maya had done. His mind was in turmoil, but deep down, he knew she was right. His family had built its wealth on the suffering of others. How could you let this happen? Helena demanded, her voice filled with fury as she paced the living room. How could you let her do this to us? Aiden stood silently, his face pale, as he looked at the television screen. The image of FBI agents carting boxes of files and confiscating the family's assets made him feel as though the floor beneath him was crumbling. His family, his legacy, was being torn apart by his wife. Maya, on the other hand, was in complete control. She had already made the call to her lawyer, and now she was meeting with FBI agents at a nearby hotel. They congratulated her for her courage, but Maya couldn't feel any sense of victory. There were too many lives affected by the scandal, too many people who had been hurt because of her decision to go public. The next few hours were a blur of phone calls, meetings, and legal consultations. But Maya knew one thing for sure. Her marriage was over. It had to be. She had given Aiden every chance to stand by her, and he had chosen his family over her every time. Days passed, and the full impact of the raid was felt. The Westbrook family's assets were frozen, and several members, including Gregory Westbrook, were arrested. News outlets across the country ran headlines about the collapse of one of the nation's most influential medical supply companies. But for Maya, the hardest part was yet to come. The Westbrook mansion had become a war zone. Helena and the rest of the family pleaded for Maya's forgiveness, begging her to reconsider and retract her cooperation with the FBI. They promised her they could make it right, that they would fix everything if she just took a step back. But Maya wasn't swayed. She had seen firsthand how the Westbrooks' greed had destroyed people's lives. Her conscience wouldn't allow her to turn back. Aiden, I did this because I had no other choice, Maya said quietly, sitting across from him in the study. I'm sorry it had to come to this, but I couldn't sit back and let people suffer. Aiden's face was pale, his eyes empty as he stared at her. So that's it? You just walk away? You just destroy everything and leave me to pick up the pieces? Maya sighed, her heart heavy with regret. I didn't destroy anything. Your family did. I'm just the one who finally exposed it. There was silence between them for a long time. Maya stood and walked to the door, pausing as she turned back to look at Aiden. I don't regret what I did, but I can't stay here anymore. Maya left the mansion for good that day. She knew there would be consequences. There always were when you stood up for what was right. But in the end, she felt a sense of peace she hadn't known in years. As she drove away, the weight that had been on her shoulders for so long lifted. She had chosen integrity over fear, and that was something no one could take away from her. Maya's story wasn't just one of revenge, it was one of finding her strength and doing what was necessary to protect the greater good. She had exposed a criminal empire and dismantled it, but more importantly, she had reclaimed her life. If you've ever felt the weight of toxic loyalty or struggled to choose between love and doing what's right, Maya's journey is a testament to the courage it takes to stand up for your beliefs, even when it feels like the whole world is against you. If you've enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more gripping tales of strength, integrity, and justice. What would you have done in Maya's shoes? Let us know in the comments below.